Hey everyone, Brian Bolen here. Today I'm going to be demoing VocAlign Ultra by Synchro Arts. Let's get right into it. So here I have a session that I am currently working on for an artist named Bradley Dern. The song is called Shrooms of the Warp Tour. It is a pop punk song, and still in the middle of working on it. I'm just tightening up some vocals right now. So I'm gonna pull up VocAlign Ultra right here. I got a keyboard shortcut that brought that up right there. And this is what it looks like. I've used VocAlign products in the past, so I'm pretty familiar with it and how they work. Basically, you just import the guide track that's the most tight, or the whichever track you're trying to match the dialogue to. In this case, I'm going to be editing and tightening up some stacked vocal harmonies. So I already have the guide track that I want that I feel like is the tightest. And basically, what I would do is just capture that into the guide, and then all the other tracks I'm gonna have to click capture to the dub, and then it renders the output here, and then I paste it back to the track. And this is an audio suite track, so to pull this up without the keyboard shortcut, you go down to here, Synchro Arts, and click VocAlign Ultra. So before I start importing stuff, I'm just going to you guys hear the song real quick and see where we're at. So this is a comedy song, if you can't already tell. It's like a parody kind of comedy style. So the lyrics are pretty ridiculous. They're very funny. But right now I have a vocal stack right here. Here's what all the vocals sound like. Solid.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
So it sounds pretty cool, but I want to get them a little tighter. So I'm going to use VocAlign Ultra to do that. So here we go. I have my guide track here. Right down there. I already have it selected. I'm going to click capture. Boom, it's in there. Now I'm going to go and select the next track that I want to capture the dub for. In this case, with Pro Tools, I found that it's usually better to use the P key and go up one like that, how it's highlighted, so that it's perfectly like capturing the space of the highlighted region up with VocAlign, so that it's only highlighting the same amount of the guide vocal from start to finish up to the next one. There we go. And click render. And look at that. That quick. Just tightened up that other vocal stack right there. Now let's hear it and let's make sure we like how it sounds.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Boom. Love it. Here's how it sounded before.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Back with VocAlign.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
So it's a slight change, but it's definitely going to be a lot tighter once we get all the vocal stacks all tightened up together. Now we also have these other knobs here, like match timing and smart align, and these all like sound great. You know what I mean? Like I messed around with this a little bit before and it sounded pretty cool. But I've noticed that whatever the algorithm is for this that they're using, like it sounds awesome at 0 milliseconds. Like you could do it less, but then you wouldn't really be using like VocAlign in that sense. Like it's not going to be super tight. I mean, if you're doing something that you wanted to be super loose, like you definitely have the ability to go from loose to tight here. The smart align is pretty cool too. All right, so let's go to the next one.
Cut my wrist and say.
So you notice what I was saying about the way the highlight of the start and the end of the region is here? I don't want it to be the exact length of this full region with the fades, because then it won't be matching what the guide's region selection was, which was this. So that's why I'm using the P key to go up and down to keep the highlighted region the same. Also, make sure you have the track focus, the edit keyboard focus on right here. Little AZ yellow guy. Make sure that's selected on so that you can use keyboard shortcuts without holding like command or control or option for certain keyboard commands. Okay, so here's the next one. I already have the guide selected, so I only need to capture the dub now. There we go. It's already in here. Render. You might hear a little glitch there because of that beginning, so I'm just going to mute that. Now let's hear all three of these together.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Nice. What would it sound like before?
Cut my wrist and say goodnight. Cut my wrist and say goodnight. Oh.
That's interesting. Like this one might sound better just leaving it the way it is. Kind of could depend once we hear it with all the vocal stacks. I'm gonna bring in the lead vocal.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight. Oh, cap on.
Let's hear it without VocAlign on that last one.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Yeah, I think it sounds best with it on once we brought in that lead vocal.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Yeah, it's just a little tighter. It just sounds like the way it should. Okay, the last thing we're going to try now is vocalining the lead vocal for that. And you know, some of you may ask, why am I not vocalining the lead vocals timing to all the harmonies? Well, in this particular song, in this particular section, I wanted to do it. I wanted to vocaline the timing that had the best, or just the best timing, basically. And this performance, out of all four stacks of these, the three harmonies and the one lead vocal, this harmony had the best timing out of all of them. So that's why I'm doing it to that. In some cases, you might want to do it to the lead vocal on purpose, just for different like phrasing, to match the phrasing of the lead vocal for a specific reason of a different part. But in this case, in this part, I'm matching timing of this vocal to all the rest. So it's kind of like the lead, like guide vocal captures that all the rest are following in time with that. Okay, so remember our guide is captured to this region right here. So I'm going to go up with the P key to that. Okay, cool. So it's capturing the beginning of that first transient of that word there. Capture the dub. Render.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Nice. Heard it sound like before.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight. Cut my wrist and say goodnight. Cut my wrist and say goodnight. Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Something that's very interesting here is that it's getting so tight that it's almost making it sound almost like smaller, which might mean it's kind of messing with the phase. So that's why you got to kind of listen. Like, does it sound better with or without it? Or, you know, backing off on the match timing, a few milliseconds might fix that. Right now, it sounds like a little too tight. Let's try the Smart Align on. See what that does. So I already changed it there.
Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
Cool. So the Smart Align is probably kind of taking that kind of phase concept into the equation, you know, where it's not like, even though it's at 0 milliseconds of the match timing, it's not 100% tight, you know, to where it's almost like kind of smart aligning, like humanizing. Like this is most likely kind of like think of it as like a humanized kind of a knob or a button, or something that kind of feels the flow or the timing of the vocal and tries to make it sound as human as it can. All right, let's hear this with the rest of the music and see how it came out. Cool. Heard it a little bit earlier. Nice. Let's hear that last vocal without VocAlign on it and just see what we get from that. I don't know, it sounds cool, but it kind of gets lost. It just doesn't sound as tight. Yeah, so I'm definitely like it with the VocAlign on. What's cool too is that when you have all the vocals matched and they're really tight like that, you really start to feel a new movement with the drums, with the vocal to the drums, which sound really cool, you know, which can be really important in, you know, this genre, pop punk or like pop, like big Taylor Swift 1989 style stacked vocals, or even in hip hop songs. Like the vocals relationship to the drums and the percussion and the tempo of the song is very important for, you know, making people move and feel musical. Listen a little more here. Hear it from the beginning of the chorus. Nice, it sounded pretty cool. There's still a few spots that I feel like I want to VocAlign. Before I do that, I want to undo everything that I just did here just so we can see a before and after. Okay, so now I'm going to undo all the VocAlign that I just did. Okay, now here it is again without any VocAlign on it. All right, cool. I definitely like it with VocAlign on. Like so I'm the one singing these harmony stacks. I really tried to sing it like as tight as I could. And I knew I was gonna VocAlign him anyway, because the lead singer, the way he's phrasing stuff is just a little different from how I would. So, you know, VocAlign's a really handy, quick tool to do this type of time matching editing in a way that doesn't take hours and hours and hours and hours. And even when you do do the manual editing, it never really seems to come out as tight and as clean as this. Let's put VocAlign back on all these and hear it again. Yes, I love that. You really kind of hear all the nuances of the voices like working together instead of against each other. It sounded almost, the timing wasn't bad before, but it sounds sloppy compared to what VocAlign is doing to really match up the tracks in this context. So I'm really happy with that. I want to check out some of the vocals here. So I do have Revoice Pro, and it looks like I used I have Revoice Pro 3, so not the latest one. That's why I want to try out VocAlign. And it's good. It works, you know. I'm actually really liking VocAlign Ultra better. Even though Revoice Pro is more expensive than VocAlign. This is VocAlign Ultra, and with the Ultra you get this match pitch button here. Since I'm doing harmonies, I'm not trying that out, leaving that off. But that would work really well if you're doing doubles, for example. Alright, let's see which track is the most in time.
Can't believe it's the last time. Come
Wasn't bad.
Can't believe it's the last time. Come on. Can't believe it's the last time. Come on, wrist. Can't believe it's the last time.
It was alright. The reason these are chopped up right here is because I used a de-esser on just those parts.
Can't believe it's the last time. Come on.
Like, I like the cool way that Brad's lead singing this line. But this part should really be inflection of the drums because they're doing that really cool kind of upbeat jump around pop punk thing right here, that like Blink 182 kind of style, like jump up and down drums kind of right here, like Travis Barker style.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it's the last time. Cut my wrist and say goodnight.
So the tighter the vocals are, the more we're gonna feel like moving around.
Can't believe it's the last time. Come on. Can't believe it's the last time. Can't believe it's the last time. Come on.
Okay, let's do this.
Son, come on. Can't believe it's the last time. Come the last time. Got my wrist in. The last time. Got my wrist and say good. Can't believe it's the last time. Can't believe it's the last time. Got my wrist in. Can't believe it's the last time. Got my son. Last time. Got my wrist in. Can't believe it's the last time. Got my wrist.
Cool. All right, so this one's gonna be our guide. Capture. We got our guide. Let's do our dub. Yeah, these two sound together.
Can't believe it's the last time. Can't believe it's the last time.
Okay, so for whatever, and these are pan, by the way. Whatever reason, I don't really like the way that it tightened it there. Might be because the smart align's on. Try it without it.
Can't believe it's the last time.
That sounds tighter. That sounds better. I like that. I'm gonna loosen this up just a tad.
Can't believe it's the last time. If it's the last time. Come.
Got everything but this word right here, the timing of that word.
The last time. Come. It's the last time. It's the last time. It's the last time. If it's the last time. Come. If it's the last time. It's the last time.
Let's hear how this sounds with the lead vocal.
It's the last time. Come on. It's the last time. Come. It's the last time.
So I'm using elastic audio inside Pro Tools here just to kind of tighten up a little bit of the timing here.
It's the last time. It's the last time. It's the last time.
Cool. It's not necessarily either because of what VocAlign's doing. More just an inflection that I'm trying to get so that the vocals are similar enough but not too similar. They all have their own vibe. Okay. Now let's VocAlign the lead vocal.
Can't believe it's the last time.
Nice and tight. Let's hear it with the other harmony.
Can't believe it's the last time.
Nice.
Can't believe it's the last time.
Love it.
By the harbor. Can't believe it's the last time. Come on, miss and say goodnight. I'll cap off the summer. Westlands like a waterfall.
Yeah, immediately I'm already like bobbing my head to the whole thing. I think it's very easy, you know, with vocals too, when something feels a little off and it's like the main focal point. If it's off just a little bit on timing, especially with a lot of stacks, it stops you from really grooving and getting into the song, you know. this other vocal coming in here. We got to get tightened up. These are all moved down a little bit further now because that's where this one started. Awesome. Well, my takeaway, I love it. As soon as I get the money to actually buy this is just the demo. I'm most likely going to get it. I really like the way that, you know, it's matching and aligning the waveforms over Revoice Pro. For whatever reason, the algorithm to me just sounds like a little different. I like it. It works for my workflow. I like this too because with VocAlign, you stay within the DAW. With Revoice Pro, here, I'll show you guys. If you don't have it, you get sent out of the DAW with this. You can also do another thing called APT. And this does something similar to what this is doing, but there's still a standalone application outside the DAW that's doing basically what this is doing. There's just something really tight and nice about what this is doing. I've been noticing too that like VocAlign Ultra doesn't have any weird formant things going on or weird like glitches happening within the audio when it's like if it has to do any time stretching or anything like that. Everything's just really tight, really clean. If anything, sometimes it actually comes out sounding better for some reason than the original vocal did, which is very odd, but also totally amazing. That's just something that I've noticed in my session. It might not be like that from session to session, but overall, I really like it. And yeah, I give it 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, if you guys are looking to get VocAlign Ultra, I highly recommend it. So they have 2 different versions of this. One is just the VocAlign with the match timing, which is what I did here today, and then another version with the match pitch. You also get this formant shift down here too, which is pretty cool. I have other software that does that as well. So if I ever need to use that, I'm not sure if the formant shift comes in just the like VocAlign version or the VocAlign Ultra version with the match pitch. But either way, the match timing is where it's at. I love it. I love the algorithm. Highly recommend it. So cool. Well, that'll be it from me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And with that, I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.